I really appreciate everybody rolling up. We got one more story for today, and that's about 2028. Before we dive into that, please smash that like button if you haven't already and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you like this content, please share a Courageous Media with everybody that you know. I really appreciate everybody rolling up. You guys are awesome. And we got one more story for you regarding 2028, and that is about who looks to be the current front runner to be the Democrat nominee in 2028, and that would be one Gavin Newsom. Check this out.
Is it fair to say after the 2026 midterms, you're going to give it serious thought?
Yeah, I'd be lying otherwise. I'd just be lying, and I can't do that.
Governor, you have long said that if you ever run for the White House, you need a compelling why, a reason. Are you moving closer to figuring out your own why and your own decision?
Yeah, Nietzsche said if you have a compelling why, you can endure any how. And so I think the biggest challenge for anyone who runs for any office is people see right through you if you don't have that why. You're doing it for the wrong reasons. And so, that fate will determine that.
You certainly seem to like being on the ground in South Carolina.
So we've got Gavin Newsom basically admitting the quiet part out loud that he is all about a run for the president. That's why he started his goofy little podcast. And that's why he ended his goofy little podcast and went back to just bashing Trump. He went to full Trump TDS because he realized that the party has gone so far left. I love that little clip. Well, I'd be lying if I didn't say I wasn't thinking about 2028, and I'm not a liar. Actually, you are, because that's what this entire segment is about, is the fact that Gavin Newsom is a psychopath. Gavin Newsom is the most accomplished liar in the Democrat Party. That's what makes him scary. He cannot govern anything to save his life. He has utterly destroyed California. And everybody can see that, which is why up until now, he was never the front runner for president. But when the other people who've essentially thrown their hat in the ring are the Pete Buttigieg's of the world, the Kamala Harris's of the world, of course Gavin Newsom is going to be the front runner. Check this out from Harry Enton over at CNN, talking about this very fact.
Yeah, look, it's like week one of the NFL. It's still very early, but as a Buffalo Bills fan, I can tell you, you'd rather see your fortunes rising in week one than falling. Thank you. Go Bills. What a win last night. My goodness gracious. Top Dem choices for the 2028 Democratic nominee. Look back in April. Look where Gavin Newsom was. He was at 8%. Look at where he is now, up to 21%. More than doubling his support from back in April before he really started taking on Donald Trump. Kamala Harris, who, of course, was the Dem nominee last time around, from 28% to 19%. And then you have AOC rounding out the top three right here at 12%. But the bottom line is this, very simply put, Gavin Newsom has gained a significant amount of ground since April. Now he's up there in the upper echelon of candidates. And there is no doubt in my mind what he is doing out in California isn't just staying out in California. It is moving nationally. Democrats nationally really like what they're seeing out of the California governor.
And there's one kind of area or signal that you really think shows that the most, that there could be a coalition here that could go across state lines, could go across different states.
You know, you mentioned it in the intro, Kate Baldwin, and I think it is so important to note that the Democratic Party is very diverse, white, black, Latino.
So basically what you've got is Gavin Newsom is betting his entire presidential run right now on simply being Trump deranged. That's all he's got. He can't point to his record in California. It's abysmal. He can't point to the fact that he's an honest broker because everybody knows he isn't. We're going to get into that because that's the scariest part about this candidate. It's the fact that he has simply remolded himself. He no longer does his little podcast where he invites people like Charlie Kirk on or whatnot and has real discussions. No, that didn't work with the Democrats because the Democrats are ultra far left now, the base of the Democrat Party, which you would need in a primary, and that's what all these polls are based on. They're not based on actual voters. They're based on Democrat primary voters. And so what you're finding is that he is now pandering to the ultra far Trump deranged base of the Democrat Party. And that's what's working. That's what's getting him these poll numbers in terms of being the 28 nominee. But that's not going to help you in a general election because Trump won't be there. You won't be able to be Trump deranged in 2028 and actually win because Trump won't be on the ballot. But just to show you why I think this is scary, why I think Gavin Newsom is scary is because Gavin Newsom is a chameleon. Gavin Newsom will wear any face. He will say anything. He will do anything to obtain power. He is Chavez. He is Maduro. He is Lenin. He is all of these people rolled up. He is Fidel Castro. Whatever he has to say, whatever he has to do, whatever lie he has to tell, he will do to get in power. And then once there, he will do whatever he wants. Check this out. Let me know what you think in the comments about Gavin Newsom. What do you think? Is he easily defeated or is he scary?
Go ahead, Rob.
Of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half Latino families have no access to a checking account or an ATM. Things we take for granted. They don't have a checking account.
What's wrong with them?
And well, because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Why do we have them?
A lot of different reasons.
Why those two groups don't have access?
Well, a lot of it just happens to be that we can
so
talk
they're
about.
Flawed?
No, they're hardly flawed, but they're struggling.
Genetically
Folks are making
flawed.
their word. Hardly, not absolutely.
But okay,
not.
do Asians have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have. A lot of whites have these problems.
Oh,
but
so that's not just black and Hispanic.
No, but
why did you bring up black and Hispanic?
Because the magnitude is ominous.
But why so many of them?
It just happens to be the magnitude.
That's the way God planned it?
Not at all.
Well, what happened to them?
There are a lot of issues, and with that communities are struggling. A lot
Why
of new
are they
immigrants,
struggling?
A lot of different reasons. The only reason why is the magnitude of the
There's
problem.
so many more.
The magnitude and percentage.
But there's no way to figure out how that happened.
We could talk about that. You know what I'm dealing with? I don't want to have a sociological debate.
Sure, why would you?
No, here's why.
Why would you want to do that? Because the person from the Times wouldn't write good things about you if you did that.
No, that's not the case, because I want to deal with reality. No,
you want to deal with reality.
I want to deal with the reality of people that are struggling, people are suffering. I want to deal with the problems in a pragmatic way.
Why are they struggling and suffering?
We can hold hands and surmise about all these other
things.
What did he say right after this interview was done? What did he tell you?
He's Teflon. He doesn't care. He's a sociopath. So he doesn't, it's like, did you feel bad after you killed your wife and her family? Like, no, I'm a sociopath. You know what I mean? I had wings.
How could I do this?
Yeah.
Well, that's Adam Carolla. He was the interviewer in that clip. And that's what I wanted you to hear. That's what people are waking up to now, is that Gavin Newsom is a complete and utter sociopath. He has no moral compass. He is Teflon. He doesn't care what anybody thinks about him or says about him, other than how does that translate to me getting votes, enough votes to get power. He will do whatever he has to do to obtain power. And once he has obtained it, he will destroy America just like he has destroyed California. Check this out from Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson recognizes this same fact. Again, let me know what you think in the comments as we roll through these.
You know, I know Gavin Newsom, and I think a lot about Gavin Newsom, many different things about Gavin Newsom. But one thing I know for a fact about Gavin Newsom is he has the capacity to beat a lie detector test. Gavin Newsom will say anything he needs to say, and not like Biden's not like this actually. Whatever Biden's fault, he's not like this. Like Biden, he has like guilt. If he's lying to you, he gets twitchy. Gavin Newsom's palms don't sweat, his respiration doesn't increase, his body temperature doesn't change. Nothing changes in Gavin Newsom when he lies to your face. And there are not that many people like that, actually. That's a rare quality. Like to lock down the state, to keep people's kids from getting an education, and to arrest people for surfing, and then go have dinner at the French Laundry. Like most people couldn't do that. They'd just be like,
You're saying he's a sociopath. He can lie and not care.
I'm not a psychiatrist, but I don't really know the category, and I'm not going to diagnose him, but I'll just say in 50 years of being around a lot of people, I've met very few who can behave that way. Very, very few. It's a very unusual quality, and of course, it's probably useful in politics.
He is 100% a sociopath. Now, check this out, because Megyn Kelly pulled this one up. And this is actually amazing, because now this is relevant because it's about Charlie Kirk. So Megyn Kelly has caught Newsom in a major lie as well. And that's why this is all relevant, because I saw this clip and I wanted you to see it. But I wanted to get the context of why this is so important, especially as Newsom makes a run for 2028. Check this out.
Gavin Newsom, shame on him, because he invited Charlie on his podcast, and Charlie went and sat in the lion's den with a far left guy, was courteous to him. I think he was his inaugural guest. Did him that courtesy, bring all these eyeballs to his show. And what does Gavin Newsom do? Betrays him. So here's what Gavin said to Charlie when Charlie was sitting on his set about Gavin Newsom's own son, Sot 1.
Last night, trying to put my son to bed, he's like, no, Dad, what time? What time's Charlie going to be here? What time? And I'm like, dude, you're in school tomorrow. He's 13. He's like, no. This morning, wakes up at 6 something. He's like, I'm coming. I'm like, Craig, he literally would not leave the house.
Did you let him take off school?
No, he did. Of course not. He's not here for a good reason. But the point is
you canceled school for like 2 years. One day.
The point is the point.
Exactly. You canceled school for 2 years and screwed an entire generation of kids. What's one day for your son? That's great. That's a great line by Charlie.
Which is, you are making a damn dent.
Thank you. I'm kidding.
So his son was such an ardent fan that he begged Gavin Newsom to let him stay home from school, begged him to tell him exactly what time they had to get up and Charlie was coming, and then was obviously very disappointed that he didn't get to go. And here's Gavin Newsom on CNN Monday with an entirely different description of what went down. SOT 2.
That's your son, obviously a fan of Charlie Kirk. What was the conversation like between you and your son after Charlie Kirk was assassinated?
Well, he called me, I don't know how he got a phone, but he called me from school that day, really alarmed. And all his friends were around the phone that wanted me to somehow express or understand what was going on. He wanted to know if he was dead. He wasn't a fan of him as much as he was familiar with him. And it was.
Oh, he somehow managed to find a phone as a 13-year-old, which he doesn't have, at school. He managed to find a phone. He called you with his friends, frantic about, did Charlie Kirk die at the hands of that assassin? If somebody's familiar with somebody, they don't call you frantic wondering if that person's alive. They only do that if they are a fan, if they love that person from afar. Gavin Newsom is an utter and complete liar and is willing to tell lies even about his own family members.
Very revelatory for me, because he's also out there. My son is 11, 12 years old. He's sitting there talking to me about not just Charlie Kirk, but folks like Andrew Tate. And he's, sort of beyond Joe Rogan, in many ways, sort of Facebook in so many respects, of sort of this novelty of the pod, manosphere, et cetera. And it was so interesting to me in that context that he knew so much about Kirk. And that was a true story. I didn't know what he was saying or stand for. He didn't even have a strong position himself.
Oh, okay. So now it's suddenly he wasn't a fan as much as just familiar with Charlie. And that's why he begged his father to let him meet Charlie, to get up early in the day, to skip school just so he could shake Charlie's hand, just because of his familiarity.
Yes, Gavin Newsom is an utter and complete liar. And even worse than his lies are what he does. Check this out, because this is how it all sums up. This is the problem we face if this chameleon, if this sociopath ever gets anywhere near real national power.
The first thing is that it's impossible now to listen to him at all. It's so insufferable. Like the endless BS on every single issue. We're seeing it on redistricting, of course, with his lies about that, and on every other issue. And we can joke about this Latinx thing, but it's symptomatic of the fact that you can't believe a word he says. But the real point, and as you said, I'm on the road the whole time fighting for change in California. People are sick of the reality of life in California. Right now, thanks to Gavin Newsom's totally disastrous rule, we have in California the highest unemployment rate in America, the highest poverty rate, the highest cost for everything that matters: gas prices, electricity, water, house prices, rent, everything, the worst business climate in America, on and on. He's a massive failure on every front. The worst governor in America, certainly, probably one of the worst in history when you actually look at the facts. And it's those facts, I think, that are going to propel voters to demand change next year. That's why I'm very confident, despite what all the media assumes here in California and the arrogance of the Democrats, that I will win next year and we will have change here in California.
That would be amazing to see a Republican governor once again in California. But what he said there was so true. California is essentially the worst at everything. Highest unemployment, highest poverty, highest cost, worst business climate. You got businesses relocating out of California left and right. It's absolutely amazing to see what's going on. Gavin Newsom is a sociopath. He's a psychopathic liar. He can do it. He can lie with impunity. He doesn't care. He will do anything to get power. And we need to make sure in 2028, which is just 3-4 years from now, that we elect J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, however it shakes out in the Republican primary. We need to make sure we get another 8 years of Republican administration in order to cement the changes that Trump and MAGA have made initially and to take them further. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hey, I really appreciate everybody rolling up. Please smash that like button, subscribe, turn on the notifications. If you like the content, share Courageous Media with everybody that you know. Help us grow the channel. Get out of the box that YouTube has put us in. Remember that God is good and he is sovereign. It'll all be good in the end. Till I catch you next time.